Hello, Reckoning 7, and welcome back to Combat Mission Battle for Normandy. We are continuing the Amiens Tonight campaign, and we're heading into the third mission of the campaign, the Somme. So the overall situation, it's 8:30 in the morning of August the 31st, 1944, and the Allies have secured Amiens. Job done. Let's go home. Well, not quite. So we have been tasked with securing a crossing over the River Somme, which runs through Amiens, and essentially clearing the way and providing a bridgehead such that the follow-on forces, I think it's the 29th Armoured Brigade, can then secure the heights to the northeast of the town. We are going to be predominantly using forces from the 23 Hussars B Squadron here, which provides the vast bulk of our forces, although we do have some assistance from the KSLI. So we'll cover quickly what we've got on a map, then we'll go through what our objectives are, known composition of the enemy, and how we might think about going about that. So as I mentioned, the vast bulk of our forces, and we have quite a lot of armoured forces here, is B Squadron here, which consists of, I think it's 3.5 troops of Shermans. So each troop, well, full troop, we've got 4 tanks of 3 of your Sherman 5s with a standard 75mm gun, and then we also have these fireflies, which is your up-gunned 76mm, and this is really your kind of anti-tank assistance for the Sherman troops. So traditionally, if a troop of Shermans, for example, came up against a Panther, the kind of standard practice was for the tank commanders to smother it with HE, just to kind of give it a bad day, reduce its inability to attack. They weren't going to knock it out, but if you can make it kind of pull off or retreat, so we don't lose our own tanks, and then try and get your Firefly here into position to then take out that enemy armour. Again, it was interesting. I think I mentioned it previously. I was reading a book about kind of just a personal experience of a Sherman tank commander in the last 11 months of the war, and the fact that also when he came up against these heavier tanks, he didn't bother even trying with the AP from your 75mm. He just hit it with HE and hoped to kind of disorientate it and disrupt it enough that it would go away and leave you alone. So interesting. Anyway, so yes, we have, as I say, we've got 4.5 troops or 3.5 troops of 4 tanks, because we have a 5th troop here is just a Firefly and the Sherman. Don't know why it's only half a troop, but there you go. And then we've got the kind of 3 tanks which make up the HQ section. So fairly strong. So what's it all in total? 4, 8, 12, 14, 17 Shermans and / Fireflies, which is a healthy amount of tanks. That's not all. We also have a troop of tank destroyers. So we've got these M10s down here, and again they're all carrying the 76mm. So plenty of firepower for knocking out any heavier German armour that we come across. In addition, we do have a little bit of infantry support. So we've got a troop of engineers here. Odd enough, I didn't know that a group of engineers referred to as a troop, but there you have it. So we've got kind of 3 fairly meaty sections of engineers, and we also have a couple of flamethrower teams as well, all in Bedford trucks. And then we have a more typical infantry platoon from the KLSI. You're the HQ, indeed. Yes, so fairly standard 3 platoons of infantry, each with 3 sections, accompanied by usual 2-inch mortar, sniper, and FO. All fairly straightforward. We also have a little bit of support from locals. So we have some partisans have risen up, and we've got a hodgepodge of about maybe 1.5 sections worth of infantry, broken into kind of 5 squads or detachments, as you will, across the map, which is going to be pretty useful in terms of having a kind of a scouting edge to start things off. So a little bit French to help us out. It's an interesting array of forces given the map, and we'll come back to that later. So what are our objectives? Well, we've got 2 hours on the clock, and we need to essentially clear the road throughout the length of this map. So there's a split between touch objectives, which aren't worth very much, these kind of lines here, 5 points apiece, and then obviously the standard kind of clear out objectives, and there are a large number of them, and a variety of points for them as they push through the map. Obviously the intent is to get all the way to the end and clear out all the German forces. We have been told we are facing a ragtag kind of mismatch of defenders. cobbled together from whatever reservists they can get their hands on. So not expecting, full strength infantry companies, or particularly high morale. I'd like to hopefully we won't be encountering, but you never really know. But we do know we have AT guns. I'm suspecting we're going to have some armoured elements. I mean, purely from a balance perspective, nothing else. And yeah, and who knows what we'll have in terms of many MGs and Panzer Shreks and Panzerfausts and all that kind of usual accoutrement. So yeah, a bit of a mismatch. Don't really know what we're up against, but it'll be hopefully some infantry that doesn't want to stick around, and then some scarier supporting elements. And yeah, it's an interesting map here. So very urban area representing the town of Amiens itself. Then we've got the River Somme and a tributary, and there is essentially one way across it. So we've got a main bridge here and a main bridge there. This second kind of tributary is crossable by infantry, but not by vehicles. So all our, large volume of armoured forces are going to have to push over these bridges at some point, which is not a pleasant thought, to be perfectly honest. There is some German infantry on this side of the river, but I'm not expecting huge amounts of resistance. So, but I'm expecting them to have much better dug-in positions, either on the kind of island, for want of a better word, or kind of back towards the crossroads up here. And indeed, we've got early indication that there's an AT position in these trees, and I suspect there's going to be kind of AT positions all over the shop. So really, I almost feel like I've got the wrong set of tools for my job. I've got, I can't remember the number I said, like 15 plus tanks, plus some tank destroyers, in an area where I cannot really use them. I'm pretty confident, and this burned out wreck the tank would suggest the same, but if I just roll my tanks up the middle of the road here, they're going to get picked off by either a German tank or a German AT gun, which is eyeballing this massive fire lane down the middle of the map, which I have to cross. So that is going to give me an interesting challenge, and I would probably gladly swap probably half my tanks for another infantry company. But c'est la vie, we've got what we've got, and I guess that's what makes life interesting. So in terms of the actual plan, well, we're going to do things in stages. We've got 2 hours on the clock, so kind of roughly splitting up our objectives. You want to be kind of probably over the first part of the bridge by about half an hour, and over the second part of the bridge by an hour, and then give us an hour to clear at the back of the map. Roughly finger and air stuff, also it'll depend where we find the resistance. And really what I'm going to have to do is sweep through these kind of urban areas with infantry, try and sneak some tanks to provide heavy fire support where required, but without exposing them early. These are short sight lines. You can easily, if I roll a tank around a corner I haven't scouted properly into some German infantry, that's going to be a bad day for the tank. But similarly, obviously I don't want to take too many infantry losses. There is a points on offer if we keep our casualties below 33%, and we have been informed there are no replenishments for this mission, and I do believe we change out forces for the next scenario, but the final one I think we come back to this company, or what are they called? Battle group, that's what I was looking for. So losses sustained here and ammunition used here is going to carry over, so we need to watch that a little bit. But yeah, it's going to be utilise the infantry, I think, to try and clear out through these houses. The Free French are going to act as my somewhat dispensable scouting force, and I'm going to use them, leaning them quite heavily. And then we're just going to have to try and establish a bit of a fire base along the edge of this river, and probably lean on a whole bunch of smoke to try and force our way across, which I think is going to be really interesting, but does absolutely terrify me that things can go quite badly wrong here, and lead to some pretty heavy losses. So it's an interesting one. Let's just quick have a squiz at the briefing and, more importantly, the tactical map. So you see we are getting a few reinforcements in terms of additional artillery. There's 2 sections of 3-inch mortars coming in very quickly, so 5 minutes and 10 minutes. We get some 25 pounders after 5 minutes, and then after another 20 minutes we're going to get 2 more 3-inch mortars. So that will boost our artillery, and I think I'm going to have to lean on probably for smoke, at the very least, to get across the river, and then maybe kind of some pounding of potential AT positions, or ideally known AT positions, to try and maybe take them out. We shall see. Yeah, interesting one. I don't know what's going on. Now, I haven't moved any of my forces yet. This is just how they're deployed. And I'm going to pull my tanks off this main row. I will probably push some up in close support of the infantry along some of these streets, again behind wherever the infantry is, just to provide a little bit of support. But a lot of them, I think, are just going to be hanging back, waiting until we're in a position to push across the river. What is going to be key, and we're going to need some scouts before we can do it, is identifying positions on this side of the bank that can provide fire support to the immediate river crossing without being threatened by the German defence in depth. So, you know, once I've got a scout, can I get, for example, a tank up into, say, this position? You know, obviously hose down some of these buildings without exposing myself to an AT gun on my flank. Similarly, there was a good-ish looking position from, say, over here to you know, fire upon that building if there's any German defenders in it without exposing myself to too much other areas. So that's really the game I think we're going to have to play. And I really need to be careful and manage my infantry resources because I feel they are in really thin supply. So that's a general plan. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'll put a gun. I'm going to twiddle all my starting units, and then I'll probably do some of my initial movements. We're just going to be combing through these houses fairly slowly, trying to find good vantage points, just to try and identify the last of the German positions on this side of the bank, and then set up for our push across the river. So yeah, I'll come back in a few. Okay, so we've rejoined about a minute and a half later. Obviously most of my force is still just hiding back in our deployment area. The general approach I've had is to use instead of use the engineer forces predominantly in this first section, just because I think they're better suited to movement because they have blast charges to may give me a little more of freedom movement through some of these buildings if I do encounter any blockers. And we have just been kind of pushing forward our French units and then coming up behind with engineers, but supported pretty closely with the Shermans. Always behind the infantry to make sure they identify targets first, but I wanted to, you know, bring them relatively close to the front. So we've got our half troop on the far right, we've got one troop coming up this kind of mid-right, and we have one troop coming up the mid-left. And then we've got our remaining troop and our HQ and our tank destroyers all just lurking in the centre. I say we've got one troop up here. Actually, I've only pushed really one of them forward yet, but the intent is this troop will support this flank. Anyway, I want to bring you in because we have finally had our first spot. And this is, we had a partial spot out here earlier, and it's resolved itself to be a couple of German infantry with a Panzerschreck. So this has that kind of feel of this cobbled together, you know, blocking force. Just throw a couple of infantrymen down with a anti-tank weapon, and hopefully they'll get a lucky shot off. They've been identified by the French forces here, which have brought into it's a fairly good position in terms of getting eyes, not only over this area, but also hopefully slightly further afield. This particular group is weapons free. Some of the smaller ones I put on the scout order, or you know, the target arc, so they're true scouting units, and they have started to engage, although not in any meaningful way. They were not the only spot to occur this minute. Oh, in fact, that's very good timing. Some other Free French who do have the target arc came again scouting at the edge of this building. I found yet another team of, or anti-tank team of Germans, just two of them, again lurking in this lovely foliage, hoping I'm just going to push my tanks up the main road. Oh no, that's not how we roll. Where are my Free French? They are in that building there. They only have rifles, but I mean these guys are lying in the grass about 50 meters away. And yeah, doesn't go particularly well, and it's nice that's an entire team taken out. I think it's just 2 men teams and one less Panzerschreck to contend with. So good job, Frenchies. Thank you very much. Albeit you're in the British uniforms, because that's how the models work. But yeah, we all know they're really French. Good. So yes, I just wanted to kind of highlight the kind of stuff we'd come up against. The general plan would be to keep probing forward. We'll find a way of taking out these jets. I might even, well, it would be bold, but theoretically I could pop in with a tank just to try and knock out that wall and reduce the only cover they've got, and we'll kind of push forward. One thing I want to pick up on, oh yeah, I did find a great little spy hole, I'm going to call it, which I think we're going to try and secure. So there's a whole big cluster of buildings here with lots of lovely interlocking doors. And if you're going to zoom through, well, not quite that far, I couldn't more that fast. But there's one, these kind of couple ones on the edge here, and this one in particular I think is a great scouting location. We can get into the second floor and turn ourselves around. You know, great view of the river, back of these houses, also kind of, a little bit into fields behind, but that's some really good information we gleaned from having a team here. Provided we don't get destroyed. The only problem is the only door into this is right here, which is not great if they have some eyes on this particular part of the world. So I'm going to send some engineers to blow a hole in through from this warren, and we'll get access that way, because I think it's a great place for a two-man scout team to sit and provide some info about the German defences here. But yeah, so update done. I will continue. I'll probably won't. I'll maybe bring it back if we get a kill shot on these guys. But otherwise, I'll advance time a bit and see if we can get ourselves that fire base built up along this riverside here. So about 5 seconds later, I just wanted to share this because unfortunately the German response has been as swift as it was predictable. First, a burst of MG fire from behind that Panzerschreck position takes care of our bold leader here, unfortunately with the Sten gun, and at the essentially exact same time, over in our valiant position here, that was too far back. Anyway, we start getting raked with MG fire from the building across the road, from the first story there. First we kind of got away with the flesh wound, but the MG rounds keep flying in, and again they see off the leader there, and that's enough for these gents to cut and run. Actually, a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, I mean, to be expected. You got in a position, you started firing, you explode yourself. You all know some large explosions going on here, so I did find a slight angle from one of my Shermans. You can see here, he is just merrily. He has a target arc just in front of this wall, and his plan was, I wanted him just to do what he's done, smash down the wall, so then it's going to be a clear line of fire from that French partisan unit into the Panzerschreck team. But obviously, I have to watch it. There's a MG which I think might be in this building, and again the Panzerschrecks may have retreated or maybe dead. I don't know, but I will stop the fire at the end of this minute. So yeah, good bit of information. It's kind of sucks to take to catch it, but hey ho, and off we'll go. And we'll continue. Alright, we're continuing to clear out the local German resistance, and just to show roughly where we are on the map, just beside the bridge here, and we have bumped into a German position in this building. Our engineers were moving kind of en masse to try and take a position here. I wasn't expecting to run into stiff German opposition, but at the end of the last minute, just as we were moving in, we did take a shot from a rifleman and took out our assistant leader there, which is pretty upsetting. I have asked the flamethrower team to try and reinforce to get into the ground floor and spray this building with fire. So yeah, the hope is the engineers kind of hold off long enough to let that fire team get in position and eradicate this German position. There goes one, there goes two. There goes 3. Man, that MG man is on fire, and not in a good way. Oh, that team just got wrecked. Hey, well, the danger of urban combat. Yeah, now my flamethrower squad are kind of a bit exposed here. Alright, I need you to get some shots away. I give him a... Just stop it. I was trying to say I'd give them a target order, so they didn't actually need to make the spot. They were going to spray this thing anyway. But it doesn't matter because these just guys got brutalized. That's okay. That's upsetting. I may need. I'll look at those shots in a minute. We've got a tank here. We may need to peek him round the corner and just unload into this building. As we bring in... I mean, these guys are just rifles now. We're probably going to have to bring these guys back to get weapons if nothing else. Both their leaders gone as well. Yeah, he's going to be rubbish for the rest of the mission. Yeah, and I think we're going to have to pop around the corner with our Sherman and just annihilate that building. Oh, that is rough. Let's go back and watch this pain again. It's probably my fault for running about with too many quick orders. That MG, just this building offers no protection. He's just picking them off. That's wild. And then these boys just don't get a chance, because I needed the engineers to hold long enough to let these guys get in position and get the start their shots away. So if he got his flame on there, game over. But another one. Phew. What are these buildings made from? Okay. Well, it just goes to show not everything always goes to plan. Now, we had some shots, presumably over here, because it's the only place we found Germans. Oh, hello. Ah, 2 dead Germans, that's good to see. And, oh, 3 dead Germans. Trying to get Buddy Aid, but it's being disrupted by our shots, which is good. This, presumably that's the MG team that causes the casualty earlier. He hasn't picked up the MG, which is nice to see. Okay. Alright, that's going okay. I'm glad that Panzer Shrek's out of the way. That's one less threat. And yeah, we're just kind of getting in position here. We did take one other casualty just off camera there. One of our Frenchmen got pinged. Just a single shot from, looked to be one of these buildings. It seems to be a bit of a German position. So I'm going to get engineers stacked up in a couple of different floors on this building. Just to get some eyes out. And then potentially again bring in the Shermans once we have a known position. So if we're going to play the peek the corner and try and get some shots away, might as well show you what that kind of looks like. We kind of come. I want to come here, and I want to come there, and I want to not target that building. To finesse it a little bit. So that's going to be the last order. My worry is if you come too far forward, that looks like almost exactly the same spot. Yeah, that's not what you want. I mean, you can absolutely see this building. There must be like a certain bit of it you need to see before you can actually use the target command, which is not helpful. Hashtag not helpful. So the other thing we may have to wait until we can do is clear it here and then come out from the backside. So what I don't want to do is stack up another bunch of engineers to stand in front of them, nor do I want to play around too much with the tanks, because I'm sure they've got Panzerfaust and will happily open up my armour. So I think what we'll do is we'll hold off until we've cleared out this position, and then I'll just pull a tank into here and hammer them from behind as we reinforce with another unit. But I'm not gonna lie, that hurts a lot. But things don't always go according to plan. Down here I'm going to split up the teams, and I'm going to move them out into a variety of different places. Am I still going to use a quick command? No, let's just use move command. Let's pretend like I've learnt my lesson. Actually, I'll have you guys go into level 2, you guys 1. Okay. And then you've got ice down here, and hopefully we'll identify what was shooting us there. And then down here we just need to decide whether it's worth reinforcing with our tanky friends. I don't know if it is, you know. What I would probably need to do is reinforce with some infantry. I've got my actual core infantry I have not used yet. I was quite keen to keep them a little bit back. Well, I could even... Where's my... Actually, I've got a French guy somewhere. Are you in anything useful? Oh, you're sitting in a truck. Let's see, if he was in one of the universal carriers, we could potentially use them as a bit of a machine gun position. And let's attempt to not see anything. Just frustrating, because from here you can definitely see part of that building and could definitely shoot at it. But that's not a game I'm going to risk playing. Tanks are valuable, so I'm going to rely on this relatively strong French infantry squad to get the work done until we push forward a little bit further. Okay, well that's That's poo. Right, okay, but we can deal with that. Just don't throw good resources after bad. Get our defences, clear out this area, and we'll get them from behind. We've only 5 minutes in, we have a lot of time on our hands. But what I will do is, since we're using these engineers as a bit of a force down the alley, is I want to get my other engineers across the way. But do you know what, I'm going to hold off a minute, get these guys in, get some scouting, make sure there's nothing nasty waiting for us before we try and push these engineers into this complex here. Eventually I'm going to want to go over this complex as well, because again, lots of good this one here, lots of good eye line onto the bridge. All three of them. This is where we're going to stack up our infantry and all our KSLI company are going to take forward-looking positions to try and nail down where the Germans are. Okay, well, I don't think anything is going to happen here, so I might just again put a slight cut in as we somewhat recover ourselves. Oh, we can have a look, see what's going on. No, it looks like he's trying to run away, or not, or fight. He's massively outgunned by those things. Come on, Frenchies. Also, our machine guns seem quite as effective as the German one did it, holding us down. Guess that was his buddy he was trying to look at. Who again doesn't have machine guns. There's definitely one. Oh, there goes he down. There is a machine gun lurking somewhere. Might be in this forward building. You know, you guys are up. No shots. Something definitely came from over here. Oh, you ran away. I'll have to get you back up again. Okay, right, I'll go put some cuts in here. Again, we're just going to keep pushing forward, trying to avoid disaster, and getting ourselves some fire superiority at the bridge. Fingers crossed. So things are generally progressing okay. We found those Germans who took care of one of the French... took out one of the French partisans. There's a team of at least 2 in this building. Our engineering squads have been engaged with the mainly the Sten gun, and we just brought up the Brine gun in their team this turn. So they've been also engaging. Unfortunately, despite a large volume of automatic fire going out towards that building, we weren't really doing very much. And unfortunately, the Germans seem to be far better shots than we are, and I seem to have lost an engineer. It's just one of the most frustrating things when sometimes, even though you've got overwhelming firepower in a firefight, you know, we've got automatic weaponry going out there, no automatic weaponry coming back in, yet we're not inflicting any casualties. We do eventually make them go to ground, although a lot of our chaps are suppressed after having taken on the loss. And yeah, there is a bit to say, stacking up behind the window leads to, you know, higher chance that even if he misses what he's aiming at, he hits something. But a little frustrating that that we're not getting the job done there. On the plus side, we have now got eyes upon the dead machine gunner, which was threatening us earlier. So I don't think there's anyone in this building now. I've actually got a tank hosing it down with fire. But there's a dead machine gunner and the rest of their dead team there. So I think this position has been fully nullified. There may be similar odds and sods in here, or maybe an HQ or something. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But at least we can start to move in a little bit. We did find a few more German infantry, so as well as the team we know is in this building. We've found at least one guy in here with a rifle grenade. Again, maybe a couple more infantry within that building. But not really a problem. Once we have control over this area, we are just going to nail these guys with tank fire. As a way of revenge. How we're going to take control of this area? Well, I thought I'd have a little bit of fun with some of my engineers. We're still moving in position, but essentially we're going to blast through the back of these buildings en masse to provide ourselves into these 2 buildings. And then from there we can kind of push across, but at least again put a little bit of base of fire to see if we've got any more contact. Having done some good work here, I don't think there's much resistance beyond a couple of Germans we know about in there, but there might be an HQ or something lurking in these buildings. But overall it's going okay. A few casualties in there, but it's generally nothing too worrying. These engineers are going to be tasked with going forward once we have cleared this area. The other troop I brought back round to punch through. Again, I'm holding all my normal troops in reserve, which may be a mistake, and maybe a better trying to apply them, but given just the small angles, short firing lines and all that kind of stuff, I don't feel I can really bring huge volumes of firepower to bear beyond trying to fix someone in position and then find a great angle from a tank. I am lucky I'm facing, and this is something I've done because I know I'm not facing a human player, is I brought a tank forward into this position. In fact, I'm going to cancel your order though. Just get here, because I think we don't need it anymore. We clear target. Because obviously if you're a human player, you would very quickly grab some infantry, pop into this building and annihilate me with anti-tank grenades, or Panzerfaust or something. But they're not going to do that, they're going to sit over there, so I'm quite happy in bringing him forward to help hose that position down. Yeah, so I might bring you back through for the kind of blast through, because that might be vaguely exciting. Otherwise, we're going to continue to add a bit of pressure, and time, it seems okay, so no real concerns there. We did finally get some artillery supports. We've got some 3-inch mortars, but I don't plan to use them just yet. Okay, let's go through the update. I'll bring you back when we're punching through. Okay, we're just about to blast through. I have not seen how this turns out, so it may be it may be entirely uneventful. But anyway, we're going to get this whole team and then our flamethrowers, which I have not really used. I didn't really use them in the first scenario, and obviously my attempt to use them over here went dramatically wrong. Okay, we've got the hole in. We know there's some gentlemen over here. I think, well, oh. Okay, things are heating up, and not in a good way. At least this building seems a little more sturdy. Oh. Okay, what we're up against? We've got... you've got your pistol out. Okay, a couple of rifles, a pistol. Is that an MP40? So there's our HQ element. Okay, so there's a few more bodies in here. Oh, just a flesh wound? Flesh wound? Yeah, flesh wound. Again, you're all stacking up in the window. Dangerous. A lot of automatic fire. Unlucky we're not taking casualties here. As unlucky as we were last time, we're now very lucky not to be taking casualties. Oh, this is uncomfortable. Right. Fun and games. This is a large volume of Germans. What can I do? Well, a couple of things. We could push into this building when we start getting to the proper kind of close quarters fighting, which we may end up having to do. You guys are in the building. Do you know what I'm going to do? Is get you to. We need to click the done button. Anything else of interest happen? You guys into get more casualties? No. Okay, fine. Let's go into command. What I think we're going to have to do is get these gents to go not downstairs, because I'm just stacking problems. I need to do upstairs, and in fact I want you to come upstairs as well. Can I get superiority? I'm going to try. Let's start by just hosing someone down. And then the French are going to push in. Let's get you over to here, and hunt into there. We'll see if we can't squeeze in from two directions. It's not ideal. Okay, we can bring in some other guns from over here as well. Get you up to... Gotta watch out for that. Be here and fight, and let's just do that. Let's go again. We're now pushing in a lot of resources here. Piecemeal, they've got style position, they've got fire position, I'm already pinned. I could take a large volume of casualties here, which would be unfortunate. Certainly have no tanks I can bring to bear without anything really, actually. Okay. Everything else is fairly static. All my kind of focus is in this one little area. Again, I'm not feeling the time pressure, so I'm not so worried about that. Although I probably should be doing other things with a few different elements on me. But let's stay where we are. And let's see how this fight resolves itself. Okay. I need to get my flamethrower action. Get upstairs. You're going up. Good. We are being, again, very lucky with our lack of casualties here. Right, flame on. Oh, there's first casualty in. Flame on! You didn't get an automatic weapon. That's awesome, though. Okay, eventually he took fright and went down. Understandable. I'm in the French who come in the back door. Right, we are going to be watching this from a few angles. This is how I envisaged the last encounter going when everybody on my side died. Okay, this seems like a lot of dead Germans. And one dead Brit, so let's not forget that. Okay, we're going back. I'd not like the chap wearing that. That's, yeah, wearing some trouser time. Okay, this seems like a good angle. Oh, that's horrific. You just let 3 of them go down. Man, that guy has nerves of steel. 3 of his friends just burn down in front of him, and he just casually keeps on firing. Credit to him. I mean, I think there's a spray. Is there another spray over here as well? That's not as effective, but the French do turn up. And ooh, where are you going, man? You're a little bit keen there. You do have a Stein gun, but still. These guys are a bit pinned. And hopefully, yeah, start taking some casualties. There's one. Falls to gunfire, so there's still a guy with an automatic weapon there. And here, MP40. The 2 most dangerous Germans are... I want to make sure he does not die, so he's still alive. Still a threat. He's still alive, still a threat. Okay, that went well. We took 1 casualty. Let's not entirely counter chickens. Yeah, no, you're starting to get involved. Okay, oh, and we'll get these guys in as well. Right, so we've got a few different angles we can work on. Let's jump to... Okay, let's jump to command. I was tempted to watch again there. Right. Yeah, you guys hold down that building. Quite happy for you guys to... Can you engage? Kind of. I'm going to target that, and I cannot, yeah, I don't want you to target this building. Kind of do, sorry, this camera works terrible. You get the guy at the back, that would be awesome. Let's do a, what do you call it? Target briefly, so I'd like to spray him for like 30 seconds and then we'll see what's going on. You guys just keep doing the Lord's work. And I think we're in a good place. I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. Oh, looks like these guys got spotted as again. I maybe need to tell them to hide. Alright, keep my eyes on that. Good. So you gents aren't really doing very much. So I'm going to pull you out. We're going to push into these buildings. And then as a top, we're going to open up that area for scouting. And probably that's going to be your job, is to go and be a scout there. Anything else we need to worry about? No, I don't think so. We're getting good. Yeah, just need to confirm. I don't think there's any Germans in these buildings. But we'll do a sweep of that, and then we should own this side of the river. Okay, I need to go put some orders in, and we're going to come back and watch how this fight ends. Okay, let's see how this first little fight resolves itself then. I guess it's a good vantage point. That's probably okay. It's a little bit far from the action. But we'll have to do. We can always zoom in if need be. A bit loosey-goosey with what he's shooting at there, but I'll take it. Yeah, I think they've just kind of gone to ground. Oh, it's very satisfying that flame out though. How much ammo is that using? Quite a lot actually. That's used about half what he had. Don't get many squirts. Okay. This felt a little uneventful. I've also got I was moving some troops around, so I got my tank to pop around the corner and just engage this building with machine fire, just in case there was someone in it. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay, so he's still boldly and bravely pushing on. Fine. How are we doing in here? Okay, he went down. There's one, and there's two. Okay, so we think this room is now clear. We know this gentleman's still on the go. And over here, oh, this is good. So we got. I mentioned earlier. No, I neglected to mention earlier. We did get one of the Germans back to Bren fire from the engineer team with that hand-off camera. There's a second. So there may be one other person in here which we haven't seen. Oh, that sounds like another death. They're hard. They're loud. No, I could just need a sound file from him. Okay, so maybe someone in there pinned, there may be someone in there dead. We don't really know. So I'll probably keep the fire up there for another minute. You gents are essentially free of your task. Let's jump in. Everything else. Everyone got in here without incident? Yes, 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 yes. Everything seems to be going hunky-dory. No real change over there, apart from you're not having a great day. Understandable. I need to get a tank on that position. And we will. Okay. So what do we want to do? Well, you guys are going to hunt into that level 1. You are not going to shoot it. For fairly obvious reasons. You obtain to target blindly. You can see your target and are going to shoot. Yeah, that's all okay. I mean, that's just what we do over here. There may be a solitary rifle in there. The connection between these two buildings? No. This is really awkward. Now we are going to have a team of engineers up in this building who are going to go upstairs and they will be able to see. So we'll do that, but at some point I think, oh god, I don't know how we're best. We may just have to kind of assault the building. Okay, we'll leave everyone kind of not targeting it for this turn, and we'll see if someone pops up, and then we'll push in. You guys are going to walk them down, you're going to blast into that building. Honestly, we're in a kind of position where we can start pushing forward a little bit more with our tanks. But there's no rush, so I'm not going to. I'll wait till we've definitely cleared this, and then we can push through much more strongly. Doesn't mean I'm not doing very much with you. What I think we'll do is once we've taken this gentleman out, if we've got a fire from up here onto the building, then we might just try and assault it from the rear. A little filmy with joy. Let's go watch 1 minute. We're almost at the end. I'd like to kind of complete this battle for this little compound. Oh my goodness, how is he not getting killed? Oh. Did he go? Yeah, there we go. Finally dead. Good. Just making sure. Oh, I forgot to turn your fire on. Command on, that's fine. Alright, that's been relatively successful. They can't see anyone in this house. They can't see anyone in this house. That was us entering this building. It's like Q heart attack. Alright. It's all going very well. We're at 40 minutes, but I'd like to confirm this building's cleared. I think we're just gonna assault with these two guys, teams. What I'm gonna have you do is come up here and then assault in there. And then I'm gonna get you to say target briefly for blah blah blah. Oh no, who was shooting it? Someone was shooting this building. No. Okay. Can you fight with shoot this building? You can. Let's do just 15 seconds of sporadic gunfire to hopefully push the head down. Clear your target order. You guys have made the hole. Don't go in the building. That's going to be your job. Let's put a target arc on you of essentially nothing, so I don't want you to fire. And let's have you move through the buildings and into this lovely little pokey hole we've got. You gents can kind of move back. Good. Now, what to do with you? Let's have you sweep through the rest of these buildings. It's clear, and then we're gonna roll some tanks up here and blow out those two buildings and teach those Germans a lesson, and then go recover our bodies. Let's go for one final minute. We can hopefully get our troops into this building here. Confirm it's empty, and then we'll have secured this in the first episode. Oh! He's shooting the wrong way. Dead. Okay. Oh no, there's another one. Go on, he's got an MP40. Good job, lads. There's another one! Why are you not at the front? Why are you sending in 3 gents with rifles? Have you got a sting? Oh, okay, you got a sting on. I'll take it back. That was okay. Okay, that yeah, that could have gone a lot worse. I could have sworn we killed someone else here earlier. Ah, we probably got body-aided. That's why the body's gone. Excellent. Okay, we're sitting just shy of 5 minutes. Let's call us quits there. I think it's a good start. You know, lots of pluses, a little bit of a negative, but we'll get our revenge soon enough. And then the next one, we'll prepare for pushing across the river. So yeah, it's been an interesting one, I think, because we're using a tiny portion of our roller forces is all we're really applying right now. But I do feel like we struggle to really bring our effort to bear. But the key is going to be trying setting up our tanks in little pokey keyholes where we can lock down this bank without angering whatever's back here. Anyway, I hope you are enjoying it. As ever, I do love hear your thoughts. There was definitely some risky play going on, but always interesting to see what you think of it. I'll catch you all on the next one. Cheerio for now.